Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson is sharing his letter archive and revealing his thoughts on everything from the meaning of life to the existence of Bigfoot. His new book, Letters from an Astrophysicist, contains more than 100 letters, Facebook posts, and other exchanges with fans, detractors, and family members. Tyson is the director, of course, of the Hayden Planetarium at the American Museum of Natural History in New York, which is not far from where I live. It's a fabulous place. Good morning. Welcome again.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
I can't believe Gayle still owns an iPod.
I know.
Yes, I do.
But that is the origin of the word podcast, so we have to.
There you go. There you go. Since the last time you were here, you went through investigations into 3 claims of sexual misconduct. You've retained your jobs.
Yes, yes.
What have you learned in the past year going through all this?
I learned to care about support that I've received from friends, from family, from a fan base that was there throughout the entire time. And a lot of that fan base is sort of represented sort of spiritually and emotionally and intellectually in this collection of letters, where it's people sharing their sort of deepest issues, angst about the world. And all I'm saying is that in this past year, I learned to value that more than ever before.
Well, as Anthony pointed out, there were investigations and you were cleared, but I'm curious about how the past year has changed you. Were you surprised, Neil, that you were even involved in a Me Too allegation? People who know you and love you were very surprised. Were you?
Life is, day to day. You don't know what's going to happen or who's going to say anything about anything. Yeah. What I do know is that there's an understandable urge for people to take sides, to have opinions, even in the absence of information or only partial information. And the entire point of an investigation is to be thorough and to get to the bottom of everything. So it doesn't seem to for some people that doesn't matter, I suppose, but for due process it matters greatly, and for just the effort to get to whatever the truths that are out there.
You did write in a public letter that's not in the book that the past year changed the way you think about personal space, and that you would rethink it and be a little more sensitive in the future.
Yeah, I can be. Yeah, I mean, it's. Yeah. I have a lot of sort of spillage of personality, right? Yeah. It's like, hey, how you doing? Right? Yeah. So spillage. So I mean, the concept of personal space has evolved over the years, and yeah.
But letters in the book, in terms of those, I mean, they really span the range from Bigfoot to letters to your father.
So yeah, Bigfoot is in there.
To calling him Tony a poo-poo head. One
person wrote in,
poo-poo head.
As an adult, deeply apologetic that when he was 10, he had accused me of being a poo-poo head for demoting Pluto.
Yes.
And he said, I deeply am sorry. I'm sorry to have hurt your feelings, and I now agree with what you said about it. But it was like a deadpan letter with poo-poo head in quotes. So that's in there. That exchange is in there.
You also hear from climate skeptics, and you talk about how scientists can maybe communicate better. How so? What can scientists do to make people understand?
We're not trained to communicate. We're trained to be in the lab and get our work done. And so to cross over can be awkward or difficult or even impossible. For many. So what's important here is to at least have analogies that people can relate to. If you have some ailment, you go to a doctor. The doctor says, here's a pill that 3% of researchers say will cure you. Here's another pill that 97% of researchers say will cure you. Which pill are you going to take? You're going to take the 97%. So now you have these very high agreement numbers for scientists warning about
This is called your most personal book to date, and I love how you talk to your children in the book. Someone asked you, what do you teach your own children? You said you don't worry about what they think as much as you don't worry about what they know as much as you worry about what they think.
Right. It's not so much what they think, but how they think. It's like when you see something, are you curious about it? Do you poke it? Do you probe it? And think about how much effort parents put in to try to keep a neat house in the presence of
guilty
entropy creating children. And so, no, this is the entropy they create, the disorder of the house is the consequence of them being curious.
One of my common refrains from when it comes to not cleaning the house is the order of the universe goes from order to disorder. So I'm not going to fight that.
That's true no matter what. Right?
I want to ask you about the moon because you got a letter from someone who told you that they were disappointed after listening to you bash the moon. You're accused of bashing.
I didn't bash the moon. I just said Mars was better.
So how do you feel about NASA aiming to take us back to the moon by 2024?
I don't have a problem. You can get there within a news cycle. You get there in 3 days. It can rejuvenate public interest. And I want to send people to Mars.
Right. So you're beyond the moon at this point.
No, moon. Don't think of destinations. Think of the solar system as our backyard.
Yeah.
The moment you start saying, I want to go here instead of there, that's the wrong way to think about it.
One of the most poignant things you brought in the green room, you came with show and tell today.
Yeah.
A letter that you wrote to your mom and dad that you did with calligraphy.
Yes, calligraphy on parchment. That's right.
So
there it is in the green room.
Wow.
Yeah, it
was
was on their 30th wedding anniversary.
Yes.
And I just wanted to thank them for all of the support they had given me and my brother and sister throughout our years. Once we expressed an interest in our life's ambitions, they supported it. They never supplanted that with either their lost dreams or whatever they.
Neil deGrasse Tyson says true love of learning never ends. For somebody who's worried about their GPA.
Oh yeah. If you have a GPA, if you leave school as a lifelong learner, your GPA couldn't be less relevant to your life.
Wait, I know
Amen to that.
Wait,
all right.
can we get a thumbs up, thumbs down on the existence of alien life?
Oh, sure.
Thumbs up, thumbs
here's
down.
my worry that we just had Comic-Con a few days ago in New York City.
Yes.
I worry that they might have landed during Comic-Con and no one noticed.
That's a thumb sideways, I think.
That would just been bad luck for them.
Neil deGrasse
Always
Tyson.
good to have you at the
Thank
table.
All right,
you
thank
so
you.
much.